Hey, welcome back. Let's just dive right in. Happy Wednesday. I love Wednesday. It is the midpoint in the week. You've made it past Monday, you've made it past Tuesday, you're working your way towards the weekend. Um, I know for a lot of people who are in recovery or struggle with controlling drinking and things. Wednesday is actually like a touchy point in the week because a lot of people wait until the weekend to drink. And so this is when that clock starts ticking of like, will I, won't I, can I wait, should I wait, should I just do it? Um, I personally never really dealt with that because I've always been a shift worker and also never really tried to go until the weekend. So, anyway, I have had a really, really great, but also kind of like hectic, chaotic week. We just had my husband's family was in town, and it's also we're heading into the third week of his baseball season. So, life gets pretty busy. And then I'm working three jobs, not like three full-time jobs, but three part-time jobs and also studying to do other stuff, so things have been crazy. So when I feel like things are crazy, I dive into my spiritual practice. And if you have been around for a while, if you've been listening to Good Words, if you are around for the Sober Bartender podcast, you know, like I dive into my journaling, to my meditation, to my own good words that I seek out. And I have been on a Dr. Wayne Dyer kick, and he is one of my all-time favorites. The sound of his voice is like warm caramel sauce. I don't know, like cinnamon and cozy blanket. I don't, it feels like home. Listening to his voice, like just the tone of it just puts me at ease. Um, and this week it's so crazy because I do my meditation and I do some journaling and I have my own idea in my mind. I have all these thoughts. We have tons of thoughts going all the time. So I have all these thoughts going of how I need to be dealing with the things that are coming into my head and coming into my world, and the what I need to do. Like there's always more and more and more that I need to do. And all I really needed to do was turn on YouTube on my drive to work and listen to these words that seemed like they were written just for me, and almost like I was just being drawn to turn them on. And it was just really, really magical the way it wasn't just one day, it was every day this week that a different reading or a different section would speak directly to my heart and my mind. Um, but I started listening a lot to Wayne Dyer's 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace. And, the main one that stuck out to me, it was number 2, which is don't die with your music still in you. And these are actually, they're 10 secrets that he wrote for his children, for his daughters. Just words for them to live by. He wrote over 40 books, but this was a book that he wrote for his daughters, and then it ended up, being translated into, you know, tons of different languages, and it was a New York Times bestseller. And but the one that really stuck out to me, one of his 10 secrets: don't die with your music still in you. He talks about going after your passion and don't wait until the end to look back and regret not having followed your dreams, not having followed your passion, that thing that you couldn't stop thinking about. He even uses the example that baby that that you knew in your heart you wanted to adopt. And I just, was taken back and went, okay, I hear you, because I know that God speaks to me through other people, and I just have to be willing to follow the prompt of turning on the video, or, talking to the person, or just following that inner guidance and that, that direction that I think we all have if we're open to it. So I'm going to share with you today the 10 secrets for success and inner peace, according to Dr. Wayne Dyer. And I think this is actually quite a treat. So, number one is be open to everything and attached to nothing. He says to open your mind to all possibilities, believe all things are possible. If you believe something is impossible, you're right. And if you believe that it is possible, you are also right. But if you believe that something is absolutely impossible, you can't do it, you're not going to do it. But I can assure you that if you believe that it is possible and that you can do it, and it's just a matter of figuring out how or just being open to it, then it is possible. But it's a matter of being open. It's a matter of not being attached to an outcome. Attachment creates all of our problems. The need to be right, the need to have something or someone to win. Those are all attachments. And I mean, attachments to outcomes. We have these ideas in our head of how we think that things should go. And then, we get disappointed. And that's like one of the leading causes of our upset and our resentment is our own expectations. It's our own attachment to an outcome that we created in our mind. When, the majority of these things are not up to us. So he encourages us to refuse negative thinking. Refuse it. Refuse pessimism. We have just as much evidence to be positive as we do negative, and we get to choose. So number one, he said, yes, be open to everything and attached to nothing. And number two, I already shared with you, don't die with your music still in you. Go after your passion. That thing that you cannot stop thinking about, that thing that just always keeps coming back up, whether it's, your doctorate, or it's writing a piece of music, or it's writing your book, or it's, traveling somewhere, or, meeting someone, or whatever it is. You have that in you for a reason. And there's no reason for you to go to the end of your life and then look back and go, why didn't I ever even try? Don't die with your music still in you. And number three, you can't give away what you don't have. So that was actually something that they would say in 12-step recovery. Like as far as sponsorship or as far as helping other people get sober, it was kind of like put on your oxygen mask first before you try to help somebody else. You can't, give away the message of recovery unless you have it yourself. And now my message of recovery has shifted from recovery into the message of love. And it's just the recovery of ourselves in general. And I think that's something that I share with Dr. Dyer. So he says, aim to respond with love in all circumstances. You get what you give. So what comes out of you in words and actions is what's inside of you. So ask yourself, what is inside of you? What is going to spill out if you were filled to the brim? Is it love, or is it, frustration and, overwhelm, and just something to think about? You can't give away what you don't have. So if you want to give away love, then you need to fill yourself up with that love. Number 4, embrace silence. I love this one. When I initially stopped drinking and entered recovery, I did not have a TV. And it took a few months for my situation to get to the point where I could clear all the things out of my space. But I didn't have a TV, and I did just spend a lot of time walking Luna at the park, or just, being out in the trees, listening to the creek, listening to the water. I really just uh, found a lot of solace in just being in nature and just being quiet. And that was something that was different. I knew that it was different because I could never stand to just be alone and just be still and be quiet. Like, the thought of meditation made my head want to explode because I just had to be going and doing and moving all the time. But yeah, Dr. Wayne says embrace silence, meditate, and take time to listen to the sounds of nature. Number 5, give up your personal history. And I talked about this about a year ago, where I asked if you are stuck in the story that you keep telling about yourself. But he says the past is gone. Live in the now. Create change. If you want to create change, you need to live from today without yesterday's narrative and conditioning influencing your day and your decisions and your thought processes. Give up your personal history. Remove your labels. You aren't your past. And that is something that I did. I no longer identify as an alcoholic. I am not an addict. I am not a depressive. I am not, I'm not any of those things. I am who I am today. And who I am today is a healthy, thriving, loving individual. So if you were going to describe yourself without thinking about where you've been, without the personal history, without the past, without who your parents were, who you are today, who do you describe yourself as? That's something to think about. Number 6, improve your mindset. You experience everyone and everything as thoughts in your head. Your thoughts are the source of virtually everything in your life. What are you thinking about your life? If you change your thoughts, you will change your life. So if you change the way you think about your life, that was something that I actually came across this week, where I was frustrated with stuff going on at work, and I was frustrated with, a couple of, things coming out of the bank account that I wasn't ready for, and some this and some that. And I was just letting it all really get me down. And then I just sat down with myself and I took a deep breath and I said, what if I was just happy anyway? Despite all of the frustrations and all of the reasons I am telling myself that I have, to be struggling in this moment, what if I just decide to let it be a good day anyway? Let go of how I think it's supposed to go and just let it be this way, but not, indulge in my own misery. So improve your mindset. You change your thoughts and you change your life. He actually has a whole book called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. Number 7, this is a big one. No resentments. There is no such thing as a justified resentment. Stop giving your emotional well-being over to someone else. Don't blame anyone else. Take full responsibility for your life because it's yours. Send love, peace, and joy for whatever comes your way. Do not accept people's offer of criticism. What you think of me is none of my business. Refuse to be offended. Don't judge others either. Judging is defining, and we are aiming to remain open-minded and open-hearted. Be peaceful, forgive others, let go, and free yourself from the cage of resentment. Number 8, treat yourself as if you were already what you want to be. So we've also talked about this. It's almost like this guy's had an influence on my life for many, many years because he just kind of comes into my brain and out of my mouth. Treat yourself as if you are already what you want to be. Act as if. Act as if you're already a parent or a business owner or a motivational speaker, etc. Visualize how future you would think, feel, and speak, and then do it. Show up as that future you. It starts with thoughts, and then feelings, and then actions. But you need to visualize it first. You need to take the time to picture what you want, who you want to be, how you want to be. And it starts with the thought, and then you feel it, and then you actually carry it out in your being. And number 9, treasure your divinity. Everything is a miracle. Every moment is sacred. You are a piece of the divine intelligence that supports everything. You are source energy in the flesh. So treasure your divinity. Treasure the fact that you're a spiritual being having a human experience. And maybe don't sweat the small stuff because of it. Remember that everything is a lesson on this great big spiritual ride that we're on. Number 10, wisdom is avoiding all thoughts that weaken you. Forgive yourself for shame, guilt, apathy. Turn over your issues, fears, and problems to your higher self, not your ego. So wisdom is avoiding all thoughts that weaken you. So definitely, shame is not it's not a helpful thought. It doesn't lift you up. It doesn't build you up. It doesn't encourage you. And it's not from a place of love. It is from a place of fear. And so, Dr. Wayne Dyer says, forgive yourself for those things and then turn them over. Turn over your issues, your fears, and your problems. So I thought that was a pretty awesome list, a pretty amazing thing to just kind of try to live by. And, some of them can be pretty challenging, like no resentments. But in the big picture, I totally agree with him. But in the moment, I don't necessarily have the follow through to apply that perfectly. But we don't have to do anything perfectly. That is the beauty of this ride that we're on. So thank you for coming and taking the time to hang out with me and listen to Dr. Wayne Dyer's 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace. And thanks for listening to my little tidbits along the way. And I hope you're enjoying the show. If you want to be notified when new episodes come out, then just go ahead and follow or subscribe. If you really enjoyed the show and you want to help us get seen and heard, then take the time on Apple and Spotify to rate and review. That helps carry the message, helps let people know that we're here and, that you want to hear what we're here to say. And yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you next Wednesday.